Welcome back to the Better Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, James, and as always, I'm here with my co host, Anis. Today's episode is an important one: forgiveness. Specifically, forgiving the past and healing old wounds.
That's right, James. Forgiveness is something we all struggle with at some point, whether it's forgiving someone who hurt us or learning to forgive ourselves for past mistakes. But here's the thing, holding on to resentment doesn't just hurt the other person, it hurts us too.
Exactly. Today, we're going to break down why forgiveness is so powerful, how to truly let go of past pain, and how to start the healing process. If you've been carrying around emotional baggage for too long, this episode is for you.
And as always, we'll share personal stories, practical exercises, and insights to help you apply these lessons to your own life. So let's dive in.
Let's start with a simple but tough question. Why is forgiveness so hard?
Because we equate forgiveness with weakness. A lot of people think that forgiving someone means they win, or that we're saying what they did was okay. But that's not true at all.
Exactly. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about freeing yourself. It's letting go of the anger, the resentment, and the pain that's keeping you stuck.
There's actually a famous quote that says, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." The truth is, when we don't forgive, we're the ones suffering, not them.
And science backs this up. Studies show that people who practice forgiveness have lower blood pressure, reduced anxiety, and even stronger immune systems. They also report higher levels of happiness and inner peace.
That's because forgiveness releases stress. When we hold on to anger, our body stays in a state of tension and negativity. Letting go helps us heal emotionally and physically.
And let's be honest, most of the time the people who hurt us aren't even thinking about it anymore. But we're still carrying that burden. Forgiveness allows us to move forward.
So let's break it down. There are two types of forgiveness. Forgiving others. This is about releasing resentment towards someone who hurt you. It doesn't mean you have to forget or reconcile, but it means you no longer let their actions control your emotions. Forgiving yourself. This might be even harder. We all make mistakes, but learning to forgive ourselves is crucial for personal growth.
And sometimes, forgiving ourselves is the first step to healing. If you've been holding on to guilt for something you did in the past, this is your sign to start letting it go. All right, let's get into the practical steps. How do we actually forgive? Here are some strategies. 1. Acknowledge the pain.
The first step is recognizing that you're hurt. Don't ignore it or pretend it doesn't exist. Give yourself permission to feel it. Second, shift your perspective.
Try to see the situation from a different angle. Was this person acting out of their own pain or ignorance? Understanding doesn't excuse them, but it can help you process what happened. 3. Write a letter, but don't send it.
This is one of my favorite exercises. Write a letter to the person who hurt you. Pour out all your emotions, but don't send it. The act of writing helps release the weight of those feelings. 4. Set boundaries if needed.
Forgiveness doesn't mean you have to let someone back into your life. You can forgive and still set boundaries to protect yourself. 5. Say it out loud.
Sometimes just saying, "I forgive you," even if the person isn't there, can be powerful. Your brain starts to believe it the more you repeat it.
Let's share some personal stories. Anise, have you ever struggled with forgiveness?
Oh, absolutely. There was a time when someone I trusted completely let me down. For years, I held on to resentment. But one day, I realized that my anger wasn't hurting them. It was only hurting me. The moment I decided to let it go, I felt lighter, like I had broken free from emotional chains.
That's powerful. For me, I struggled with self-forgiveness. I used to beat myself up over mistakes I made years ago. But at some point, I had to remind myself I was doing the best I could with what I knew at the time. That's something I want our listeners to take away today. If you're listening right now, take a few minutes after this episode and reflect on these questions. Who in my life do I need to forgive? What's one step I can take toward letting go? Is there something I need to forgive myself for?
Write it down, say it out loud, or just think about it. The key is to start the process today.
Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, it's about freeing yourself from the weight of the past.
And remember, healing takes time. Be patient with yourself. The important thing is that you're taking steps toward peace.
If this episode helped you, be sure to subscribe to the Better Lifestyle podcast so you don't miss the rest of this series.
And if you know someone who's struggling with forgiveness, share this episode with them. Let's help each other heal and grow.
Thanks for tuning in. Keep learning, keep growing, and don't let the past hold you back.
Until next time, this is James and Anise signing off. Stay strong, stay kind, and keep building your better lifestyle.